Hi everyone, it's Emmanuel here. I want to share with you something quick today in Acts chapter 19, starting in verse 23. It's basically the story of Paul's effectiveness in preaching causing a stir in the city. Okay, and starting in verse 23, it says that about that time, Acts 19 verse 23 says, about that time there arose a great commotion about the way. So this commotion, okay, about the Christian lifestyle, the way, has caused whatever we're going to talk about right now. And I see, just by reading it this morning, I saw that there are two things that we can apply in our lives and kind of be aware of these things, okay, as we look at history of what happened so we can apply it into our lives today. So there's a commotion. What was the commotion? There was a man named Demetrius, a silversmith, who made silver shrines of Diana, brought no small profit to the craftsmen. He called them together with the workers of similar occupation and said, "Men, you know that we have our prosperity by this trade. Moreover, you see and hear that not only at Ephesus, but throughout almost all Asia, this Paul has persuaded and turned away many people, saying that they are not gods which are made with hands." So he says, so not only is our trade in danger of falling into disrepute, but also the temple of the great goddess Diana may be despised, and it says that people are worshiping them, but then now that's in danger. Their trade, their business, their livelihood, and this quote-unquote worshiping of Diana is in danger. So what do we have to do? He's basically stirring up the crowd. And after the people heard this in verse 28, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, "Great is Diana of the Ephesus." And so the whole city was filled with confusion and rushed into the theater with one accord and pulled basically a couple of Paul's travel companions. And in verse 32, it says, "Some therefore cried one thing and some another, for the assembly was confused, and most of them did not know why they had come together." Now isn't that funny? They all were in this commotion, yelling, everybody yelling one thing and another. They got into this theater, which is like a huge gathering place back then, and they don't even know why they're there. Most of them, it says, don't even know why they're there. Have you been in those situations before? The two things that I immediately realized. The first thing is, how many times have you, well, perhaps not many times, but perhaps you've encountered certain situations in your life where you think you did something that is upright. For example, you're sharing the gospel, you're really telling people the message, and some people don't receive it, okay? And some people stir it up, whether they're unbelievers. You know, they try to stir up other people to mock you and say things about you. If that happens, just know that Jesus says, in this world you'll have tribulation. If they hate you, if they hated me, they'll hate you. Just be reminded, just because there's a whole group of people who's coming against you, doesn't mean that you're wrong, okay? And second thing is, you got to realize, when people's selfish desires or their own how do you call it? Their own, well, here, their livelihood is being threatened. They are going to be threatened by you, and they may do things to try to come against you. Sometimes, even in good-meaning ways. Okay, sometimes these rallying of people together could come from good-meaning Christians. They may be good Christians in certain different regards and doing great things for God. I mean, I've experienced this personally myself. For example, one time, I was preaching. And after the preaching, now I know this is the Word of God. You know, I studied it myself carefully, and I was sharing about basically God's goodness and God's grace towards us, that He wants to save us, deliver us, and heal us, and basically set us free of everything. But there's a certain Christian who didn't see it that way because of his personal experience. And so during the message, he went out and basically stirred out a huge crowd and stopped people from hearing the message of God. And whenever I shared this message, people were set free, and people are delivered, healed, and love God, and want to draw closer to God. And you know, I don't hold anything against that, and I just pray that God will bless them. And I just pray that I will not be that type of person that if I see something that, you know, I'm unsure of, you know, obviously if something that's really out of whack, saying like Jesus is not God and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, you gotta, you know, really, you know, stand against that and make sure you stand firm. But the thing is, we don't want, number one is, we don't want to be the person just because if it doesn't go, if it doesn't fit our thinking or doesn't fit our experience, that we're going to go ahead and stir around people and try to come against a brother. This is called sowing discord in the brotherhood of Jesus Christ, and the Bible says don't do that. So we're going to make sure that we don't do that, first of all. Okay? And second of all is, when you realize this is happening to you and you're doing the will of God, just know that, okay, this has happened before. It's nothing new. Happened to Paul, happened to other people, and in fact, the Bible says all who desire to live a godly life will be persecuted. So take comfort knowing that this is not new for you. As long as you're staying in the Word of God, you're really preaching it, you're really trying to live it, pursue peace with all men and holiness, without which no one will see God, then you're fine. Okay, the second thing is, you just gotta remember, this guy here, Demetrius, he is stirring up the crowd. It's because he's gonna lose his livelihood. He's not gonna make money anymore. Right? Now, this may not be money. Sometimes people will stir things up against you because they think that will attack, somehow passively attack what they believe in, what they stand for, and so they will come against you really hard. You're going to understand why people are doing things. When you understand that, you're like, God, okay, I pray for that person. May they get healing in that area, and may they be set free. And if it's you who are doing this, if you see this in your life, you're trying to come against your brothers, come against other people because you got these things in you, whether they're selfish motives, whether it's really like this, you're going to lose money if some people preach about certain things, if you know, I don't know, whatever it is, if it's going to harm you in any way because of your personal gain, then you're going to have to examine your motives and say, is this right? I don't want to come against the work of God because of my own selfish motives, because one day we're all going to be judged. Right? So you and I want to make sure that our motives are clear. That's number one, that we're not harming the work of God. We're not stopping the work of God. We're not, you know, discouraging anybody else just because of our own selfish gain and motives. That's number one. And on the flip side, if someone does that to you, just bless them, forgive, move on, and you know, Jesus says if someone sins against you, go confront them, talk to them about it, and that's it, right? But don't let this hold you back, because know that this has happened before. It's happened to Paul. Right? The second thing is, it says here that people came together. They don't even know why they came together. They're in the theater, they're yelling one another. How many times have you been in a situation where people try to draw you into a commotion, right? They're like, yo, listen to this, listen to this person. They try to get you in. They try to make you take sides, right? But, you know, in some of the situations when people tell me in the past, I remember saying, you know what, yeah, I don't know, man. I wasn't there. I didn't hear it, so I really don't know what to think, man. You know, just bless them, I guess. Just pray for them, right? Don't get sucked into these things where people want to draw you into the commotion, draw you into the drama, right? And make you take sides when you don't even know the whole situation. You don't even know what's going on, right? You don't want to be people like that who are yelling and saying, yeah, you know, whatever, gone in these guys, and you don't even know why you're there. That's so funny. The whole town, the whole city come together yelling and crying out. They don't even know why, one after another, crying different things. They don't even know why they're there. We don't want to do that. Guys, you want to stand behind a cause that is worthy, that is God-centered. And if you do something, make sure like you're standing behind something good. Don't stand behind some trivial, stupid stuff that doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Okay? Another thing is too, like, the application here is that recently, if you hear the news, you hear the Ebola breakout and the disease and everything. Don't let the media hype you up and get all fearful because, oh, everybody's talking about it now. Did you hear in the news? You know, people come together. It's bad, man. This thing is really bad. It's really spreading. And you start getting the grip of fear. No, you know what you got to do? You got to stand in line. Go find some brothers and sisters in Christ who trust God, believe in His promises, not just by the lips. Oh, God, oh, brother, I believe God does this. But, oh, no, that guy, don't listen to him. Okay, you fellowship people who really trust God, stand on the promise of God. There's no ifs and buts. Jesus says He'll protect us. Jesus, He saves us, delivers us, heals us. That's that. I stand on that. Doesn't matter what thing the media try to hype up. I don't care because I stand on the Word of God. Will you do that? Will you stand on the promise of God and trust that He will take care of you, He'll save you, deliver you if you walk with Him? So I want to encourage you with that. Don't worry about the commotions and all different things in life. Look into Jesus and fellowship with like-minded believers who will believe and trust God and His promises and stand firm no matter what happens. And if you do that, you'll live a victorious life. I bless you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.